Hi guys, now today's review is of Alex Proyas' new film called Knowing, starring Nic Cage. Now, the plot to this film, as you probably already know by now because the trailers have been all over the television and movie sites, but it goes that in 1959 an elementary school class drew pictures of what they thought the future would look like. One of the kids drew a sheet of numbers which 50 years later comes into the possession of Nic Cage. Now he works out that these numbers are the dates for every major catastrophe of the last 50 years, realises there's 3 disasters left to go and he wants to try and prevent them. So that's pretty much the plot in a nutshell. Now this film, I only went to see it because my girlfriend was at work and I wanted to kill an afternoon, so me and Innocuous Badger, who's also got a YouTube account, thought we'd go see it and kill some time. The trailers, I thought, made this film look terrible. I honestly thought it was going to be shit. But this film is honestly really good. Now, basically, the film goes on exactly how you'd expect for the first hour or so. Now, it contains really good disaster scenes, the special effects are amazing, as you'd expect from a film of this budget. And towards the last act, it becomes pure science fiction. Throughout the film, you get glimpses of these really tall, thin, pale men who keep an eye on Nic Cage and his son. Now, it turns out that these men are, in fact, aliens who are warning certain children across the globe about the coming apocalypse. Now, a lot of people have problems with this because of the religious overtones, but I really think it's done rather brilliantly. The ending, for a start, is really brave, not just destroying the Earth, but taking this sci-fi element and having these aliens take the kids off Earth like a Noah's Ark situation and put them on another planet similar to the Earth's conditions and to restart the human race. Now, Innocuous Badger, or Alan, right, he said that he didn't like it because it was essentially the Garden of Eden, with it even shows like what could be the Tree of Life and stuff like that. However, the way I like to look at it is it's giving a scientific explanation to the origin of religion. Now, it's no accident that the aliens themselves look like angels, and I'm thinking that maybe this has happened before in this universe, obviously, in the film's universe. Maybe this has happened before, and over time the story of what happened has been exaggerated to become God and aliens and stuff like that. But to have an ending like that in a Hollywood studio film is really brave and ambitious, and props to Proyas for doing it because it is rather brilliant. Now, I've heard critics complain that if these aliens are all powerful, why don't they prevent the destruction of the human race rather than just take kids and repopulate other worlds? Now, my thinking behind this is that the aliens are not in fact all powerful. Maybe they have their own limitations. To us, to human beings, they are all powerful with spaceflight and everything that they've got, their technology. But that's like comparing a cockroach to the human race. The cockroaches probably think we're all powerful when we actually have limitations ourselves. So perhaps the aliens have their limitations and they just can't do it, can't save the human race, and they can only preserve the human life form by taking selected kids. And the reason they choose kids, because they are innocent in mind and body. They are obviously children, so they have no cynical worldview, and body, they haven't had alcohol put shit in their system yet. You know, they are completely innocent, so that's obviously why they choose the best specimens to take to these other worlds. Alex Proyas, the director, his style is all over this film. For anyone who's seen Dark City, which is essentially The Matrix meets The Truman Show, as soon as you see these creepy thin pale men, you'll be reminded of Dark City, and the shots in it, the style, the colour palette, it's all his style, which is very good. I mean, I think he's a very good director. Some of the wonky CGI in the disaster sequences, I mean, they are brilliant, but some of the CGI looks a little bit off. It's his direction that really makes the scenes worth seeing. Now, a problem that some people have with this film is the fact that we spend the first part of it following Nicolas Cage and his journey, following these numbers and working the disasters out, all the rest of it. And in the third act, the focus shifts from him to his kid and the numbers become completely irrelevant, because the event that's going to end the world, essentially, is a solar flare, which we see at the end in a display of brilliant CGI. But to be honest, I think this works because, in a sense, this is how he experiences it. There's a point in the film where he says, it's not coincidence that I found these numbers, it's up to me to sort it all out. And he feels shortchanged, which is how the audience is obviously made to feel. Once the kid comes into it and you forget about the numbers, I mean, my friend said that this is why one of the reasons he didn't like it is because he felt like we'd wasted time with Nicolas Cage, whereas it could have just been known that it was a sci-fi film from the beginning. But I said to him, and I'm saying to you, that this is obviously intentional. We're supposed to feel the same as Nicolas Cage. We feel like surprised, shocked and slightly shortchanged, that we think it's him and his journey that we're supposed to follow, when in actual fact it's his son. I think this is a really nice touch by the director and works really well. After reading reviews, I mean, Roger Ebert gave it 4 stars and he says it's one of the best sci-fi films he's seen, and he wrote an essay about randomness versus determinism, which is a very interesting read, so I suggest you check that out. I do believe that this film is a cult classic in the making. I mean, once it comes out on DVD and Blu-ray, I think it'll get much better reviews, and it's well worth checking out. If you don't see it at the cinema, pick it up on Blu-ray, because it will look really good, the CGI and everything. It'll look very handsome on Blu-ray. I'm going to give the film 4 stars out of 5 because of the sheer ambition of the ending and the themes, and the fact that, like From Dusk Till Dawn, you get to a certain point in the film and it does a complete 180 and goes against what the audience are expecting. Now, whether you like that or not, you have to respect its audacity. So it's well worth checking out. I recommend it to any science fiction or action fans, and it's a perfect night at the cinema, so what have you got to lose? Alright, well, thank you for listening. Please subscribe. This is CivilianSnowman signing out. See you later.